Hey everybody, this is Dr. Rena Walsinger. Welcome to week 4. I had some surgery on my face. Luckily it went well and everything is good, but I'm going to be recovering for a little bit, so I'm not going to be having my image on today's recording. So I just made a nice image of where I'd like to be on a little boat in a bioluminescent bay that I made on Midjourney. So today we're going to go through Module 4 and do some examples. Also, if you're interested, we'll be having office hours on Wednesday afternoon at 3 as always, and we'll be doing live examples, answering questions, and so forth. Remember, we do have discussions every week, so I'm encouraging you to read the material and then please join the discussion. So that's how we get paid here, make sure that people are doing our courses. So instead of attendance, we do have discussions. So we're going to go through 3 language learning models today: Gemini, Claude, and Perplexity. So let's go through these modules and I'll show you what's here. Here's the discussion. So which tool did you find more user-friendly and why? How can these help in your daily life? Imagine a specific question or task you would use these tools for. Do you have any concerns or hesitations about using AI tools? So all you have to do is hit reply, and then we can start that discussion. So what is Gemini? Gemini is made by Google. It's a language learning model that it's improving rapidly. I use it for finding information. You can see some of the things here. Planning meals, hobbies. It's very easy to use, which I'll show you in a minute. In the module, I have a link to Gemini, and as always, you need to put an email into these to use them. So I personally have a Gmail. Another thing that we talked about in office hours is that you can create another Gmail if you want to use for all of these that maybe is a new one that you haven't used before. So some people don't like to use the current emails that they have, so it's up to you. I just use my Gmail. You can use your student email, whatever you want. And then I have some examples on how to use Gemini and some practice activities and some tips and reflections. So that's the first part of this module. The second part is about Claude. That's another language learning model made by Anthropic. It's really nice as far as the language, and I'll demonstrate it here. It works as a helpful assistant. It has more natural language. You'll see it operates a little bit differently. So it's another language learning model that Anthropic has trained, and how they trained it is basically how it works. There's a link and so forth, and then I have similar things on how to use Claude here, some examples and some practice activities, some tips and reflections. Next, we have Perplexity, which is another language learning model, and this one was trained differently. Perplexity existed before all of this AI stuff, and it was something that indexed the internet. So this one does access the internet, and it does give you the citations of where it's pulling information in, and then that's combined with the language learning model in the AI. So on this one, last time I checked, you didn't have to sign in. I'm not 100% sure on that now. So I have some questions you can ask it, some examples, and then some practice activities, some tips and reflections. So that is this module. So what I really want you to do this week is practice with these and then come with some questions for me or in the discussions. So now that we did this part, let's go ahead and start with the first one, which will be Google Gemini. So I have bookmarked these in my browser. We talked about browsers before. This is my Gemini interface. You can see what this looks like. I have on the left side are some conversations I've already had. There's a manager, help, activity, and settings. Up here, there are 2 models that I have. To upgrade, if I wanted to pay for this, I can upgrade. I use the free new one, and Flash 2.0 is the latest as of this recording. So And it gives you some examples here. Yeah, I can also talk to it using the microphone. I do not have to type if I don't want to. And I can upload any image from my computer. It could be a picture. It can be text. It can be my syllabus information, so I can train it however I want. So let's do an example. I want to learn. Let's ask it about itself. I love to do that. Learn more about Flash 2.0. What are the new features? So let's see what it tells us. The latest AI model from Google. It's twice as fast as 1.5, which I'm seeing in front of my eyes. Native image generation. So this is huge. We'll try this today. It can generate images, supports conversational multi-turn editing, text-to-speech, features native text-to-speech audio output. That's interesting. You can connect it to an API, meaning if you're building something and you're a developer, you can get the API, connect it to your application and build it. This is a new word, agentic, that's becoming very common, meaning these applications are AI agents. So it has improved tools. It has a multi-tool, including compositional function calling and multi-use tool. That's, let me say that again, including compositional function calling and multi-tool use. Allows seamless integration to utilize various tools to accomplish complex tasks. Search as a tool. You can still use Google search. It makes sense. Spatial understanding. So when you use your phone or a camera, it'll understand what it's seeing and be able to describe it, which is great. You can add watermarks. So and then there's some more links of information. So let's try some stuff. So let's see something complicated. I usually like to start with tables. Make a table of the Grammy nominations and winners for 2025. See if we can do this. Include categories. I'm just curious how fast it can pull this up. Okay, it looks like pretty fast. So I can add more. There's more to this list, but there's kind of the main categories. I happen to be there this weekend at the Grammys. I'm a voting member. There are 13,000 of us, so I'm super honored to do that. But these are the winners. So you can export these to Google Sheets, and then you can make if you wanted to save that as an Excel file or Word file, you can do that from there as well. That's why I like tables. Another one I like is just looking up data. So maybe give me the latest data to become maybe an RN in California, including the certs needed. And it should give me a table. I should have told it to do a table. I didn't. If I don't tell it to do a table, it won't. So here's the requirements, the NCLEX exam, which is what you take for nursing, licensing, and all of that. And so I can ask it, can you provide this in table format? I can even ask it, add emojis if I want to. So however you want to see it. You can even have it to do certain colors so that you can see how fast that happened. Let's see. Include more information. This looks like it cut it off. Possibly. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So that happened pretty quickly. It's linked to the resources. I can also say, you can see here where it got the, these are the resource links. So the NCLEX website and the BRN website, which is the Bureau of Registered Nurses. So these are the citations and links where it came from. Now from here, I can tell it whether I like the response or not. I can regenerate it if I want. I can get a share link, export to docs, put in an email or share the conversation. I can also listen to this with audio. Let me see if I can try that here.
Okay, here's a more detailed table about becoming an RN in California, including more information and emojis. Requirement. Details I. Resources. Education. Complete an accredited nursing program.
Okay, I didn't know it can do that. That's a new feature. Unbelievable. So I can listen to the whole explanation. It kind of sounds like a podcast. That's fantastic for me. Sometimes I miss some of the things when I read because I'm a visual learner, so audio would be helpful for me for learning. So it does that. I'm curious about the image generation. So let's try one. Generate an image of I'm going to try my dog, Bijan Frise, holding, holding, a guitar. I'm totally curious what this looks like. Imagen 3. So Imagen 3 was not integrated with Google before and seems to be taking a few seconds, but there we go. Oh, oh my gosh, that's like literally what my dog looked like when he was a puppy, Snowy. Crazy. And I like how the guitar's in like puppy scale. That's so awesome. I wonder if it'll do cartoons. Can you make this into cartoon format, 3D, like maybe Pixar? So let's see what happens. Imagen 3. So this again is all for free. I'm not paying for anything. I'm sure there's a limit, like if I do too much. So it's a different Bijan Frise with a little guitar. That's so cute. But so now it's like a little Pixar guy. That's awesome. So let's try something else. Maybe my original picture, image of a boat trip in a bioluminescent, I can't spell that. Luminescent. It's going to know what I'm talking about, even though I'm not spelling correctly today. So you can download these. You can use them. You're not violating any copyrights because even if I generate it again, it'll be a different picture. So that's very different than what I got from Midjourney, but also pretty. You just hit the download button. Super easy. I can upload also images. So if I upload an image, I have an image actually of myself on the desktop. So let's do that. Okay, so make an image of me that I just shared. Maybe playing bass, playing a cool bass guitar. Let's see what happens. It should reference me and it should do something. I have no idea. It didn't do it. Okay. Interesting. So let's try another one. See if I have any other images here. Pictures, desktop. I'm not sure if I do. Or, yeah, I usually have my images in my iPhoto, so I don't have any. But what I can do is if I'm going to download something from my, I do have like an image of, let's see, I have a remote control somewhere. So if I use this for translating stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and upload maybe, if I can find it, hold on just a second. Let's see, here I found it. Okay, so I took an image of a remote when I was in Japan. So say please translate, and you'll see the power of Google. It should be able to tell me how to use this remote. So now it does that very quickly. I can match up the Japanese symbols to what it does in English. So the input, I can change the closed captioning. And this remote had so many functions, I was super confused until I did this. So I'm like, I just need like volume and channel and stuff like that. So I can match up now the symbols with the volume, mute, channels, and all of that. So that's super helpful. So what I do with this is on my phone, I have Gemini, and I use my phone to take pictures of stuff and have it translate or explain things that I'm seeing when I'm traveling. It's fantastic. It could even be like something that broke. Like I could take a picture of my dishwasher and say, "How do I fix this thing with it? Like it's clogged up or something," and it'll give me directions. So it's very powerful. It does save what your recent conversations. I have a lot of conversations, so there's that. Let's see what this manager is. Gem manager. You can play chess. You can have a career guide, coding partner, show more, writing editor, learning coach. So this is new. I have not used it before. So it gives you some things to start out with. There's one that, oh, that's awesome. So try now. Oh, Gemini Advanced. Okay. There's a charge for that. So maybe this is something that you have to pay for, it looks like. To chat with, oh, I see. You have to go to that one. Okay. So let me go back to Flash. And I'll just try one more. Maybe make a graph of the weather in Huntington Beach for the past 7 days. Let's see if it can do that. Looks like it's going to do it, I hope. Okay, it did it. So this is the weather, the temperature it's been. This is the lows and the highs. And I can reset the zoom, expand the chart. So just like that, and I can have a chart. You could also give it data and have it chart out your data because it does understand spreadsheets and Word docs and all of that, being that it's Google. So that's Gemini. I love it for data. I love it for tables. I love it for graphs. It's easy. And I can even like change the color. Now add in let's see what else in the weather. The AQI, air quality index, and add colors. Let's see if it can do that, depending on if it finds that data. I got an error in the code. So now retry creating the graph. Interesting. So retry. I can't display the graph with this text-based interface. Interesting. So it's pulling an error there. Okay. So sometimes that happens. If you give it information, it's probably not finding that data. So it's trying to index a library to find the air quality index, and it seems like it threw an error trying to find that data. One of the datas I know it's easy to find is like job stuff. So like tell me the top 10 jobs for students in Orange County. Use any data. So let's see what happens. I could tell it to use ONET, which is, there we go. So it gave me that. Now use ONET. See if it'll do it. ONET is a database for job stuff. And it can go right into that database and give me information with the code for the job. And so this ONET, if I gave it a source to look up, it does that for you. So it's great at data mining, and I'll show you again. Maybe, let's see, give me the top 10 skills for nurses let's try a new one. How about welders using ONET? So it'll go to that site, ONET, I think it's .org, and then it gives this, and these are databases in that site that's publicly available, and it gives you those skills. Pretty awesome. Make into a table. which is if I'm doing a report or something, this is how I would provide that data. That fast it comes out. Amazing. So you might be wondering, is this true or not? You'd have to go in ONet and then compare the tables and make sure this is what you're doing. But in my research, I've found that these to be very accurate so far. So let's go to the next one, Claude. I love Claude. In business, the reason we like it is you can change the kind of responses. So I can pick any of these styles or make my own style. So maybe if I want like a formal style or concise or explanatory, so let's use explanatory. Here's the models that are available. 3.5 Sonnet is the latest. So that's the one I'm going to use. I'm using the free version as well. I do have a sidebar of my prior conversations. I can also do projects with other people. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So like if I wanted to do, let's maybe because I'm explanatory, tell me about the history of, let's do a controversial topic because it's controversial right now, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I have a doctorate in this, so I can tell you if this is correct or not. So it's going to go through and talk about, this is correct, the civil rights movement. I could actually have it go back and start earlier from that. So it's explanatory, so it's giving you, it's not like, it's more like a teacher, the way you would explain it or read in a textbook. I'm going to ask it now, include, see if we can do this, include research by Freire and give citations. So this is where it's really popular in learning. You can ask it for its citations, you can add information. So this gives the roots of DEI, which happened with Paulo Freire. And then there was a book, The Pedagogy of the Oppressed, and it goes through all of this information. And then it gives you, and you can copy it, retry it, save it, download it, whatever. So let's try something else. Explain how, explain the basics of linear circuits. This is for all of us who are engineers. Let's see if you can do that. Okay, so it's giving you the V equals IR. And so voltage, power, and it's given you some examples, how a battery works, power. So it's really nicely done. It gives you just information. So what you could use this is for something that maybe you didn't understand in a textbook. You can copy it in here and then ask it to further explain a concept or give you example problems and solutions. So that's pretty awesome. So let's do one more. How would I design a circuit to turn on a light? Something very simple. I'm just curious if it gives any diagrams or if it's just explanatory. It's probably more explanatory. So let's see. Aha. So it does give you some kind of visual information here. That's it's kind of a workflow for designing a circuit. Let me ask, can you make a diagram? It's probably going to say no. I don't think it does diagrams. Oh, well, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's giving me code to make a diagram. Okay, that's crazy. Oh, wow. It did it. This is super cool. So I forgot that Claude has the ability to do, oh my gosh, look at that. Take the code and actually run it. So this is unbelievable, really. So it did I could look at the code, what it did there. And then I can preview the drawings that it did with that. So it did give me a circuit schematic. Each of these little boxes are a different project that it did. So this one is a circuit with a switch, an LED circuit. This is LED circuit schematic. Okay, it's gotten way better on this model than I've ever seen before. It's crazy. So it has downloading. You can copy the contents, make it full screen, zoom in and out. Beautiful, beautiful stuff from Claude. These are, in the past, I think they're still calling them artifacts, but the artifacts are these things that you can run and then see the results. It's basically a Python emulator. Beautiful. Okay, so Claude continues to impress. So that's the stuff that I just did. This is a little chat, a new chat, and so that's a little shortcut to that. I could bring it back here. So amazing. So let's go ahead and do some more. Maybe I'm going to try a different one just to show you, maybe formal. Write a paragraph for a bio for me. Now it knows me because I've been in here. Let's see what it can do. Okay, it wants me to upload stuff. So it doesn't remember the stuff that I did before. Okay, look up and write a bio. Let's see if I can find, it could probably find my LinkedIn stuff. So write a bio. Let's see if it'll just do that. Nope, it can't look up that. So it would want to upload my resume or something and do it. So let's see if it goes, maybe reference rena.com. Probably still won't do it, but let's see. Nope, it can't do that. Okay, that's interesting. Maybe give me any research by Walsinger. See if I can do this. This should be able to look up some articles. Nope, we couldn't do that either. So Google will do that. So this is, this one is definitely working different. It's probably better like writing stories. So let's write a short story. And actually, if I'm going to write a story, I want a different model. So go back to Claude. Okay. Upload CSVs. All right. So let's do this with a different thing. Create in styles. I'm going to do create a custom style. I can add writing sample, paste from text contest. So I am a great English, great writer, creative writer with awesome visual explanations. Great style. So now I'm going to have it write a short story using, obviously I would give it a longer one. Let's see if it can do something with this. Okay, there we go. Use style. Okay, so now write a short story about a purple monster looking for cookies in an enchanted forest. And then it'll use a more creative language. So there it goes. This is what it's really good at. Writing in different styles. So if you don't like ChatGPT's output or Gemini's output and you want to do something more creative, this is like the place to go. Bumble Fluff, the purple monster, tiptoed through the enchanted forest, his oversized paws leaving star-shaped prints. just super cool writing. And you can see right away, it looks way different than the other models that I showed you. Cookie, where art thou? It's just so it, even with my tiny writing sample, it gave me a whole little short story. I love it. Okay, so that's a little bit about Claude. So there's also projects. So you can start a project. I did one about the solar system. And you can share it with other people. So if I create a new project, maybe this project is called Exercise for Life. So describe your project. Great exercises as you age, including yoga and Zumba, stuff that I do. And then I can create that project. I'm going to put it, send it to my team as well. So now I can have stuff and we can all add to it, like uh, add info about benefits of yoga. So it'll add that, and I can just create this project with other people, share it with them, and then they can add to it and so forth. So if you want to do stuff with your family or colleagues or friends, this is a great way to do it, is to start a project, and then I can be sharing that project. So there's a share button here. Right now I have access, but I can share it now with anybody. So shared. I'll change that, and I can say, hey, I've got a new thing in here about yoga, so you can hop in there and add to it if you want, or add your other exercises. One of my partners is a swimmer, and she teaches swimming at college, and so there we go. So now I've got a project. So let's go to the last one, Perplexity. And this one, this is more about, like, what I love about this one is the articles. So you can hit discover and like read articles that's in here. See if any good news is in here. Maybe this one. So if you have the paid version, you can make these articles. You just ask it a question and it starts writing, but it puts it in the format of an article. So it usually gives you an image and you can change the image. In my case, since I don't have the paid version, I can see other people's articles. Pretty cool. It always gives you these references where it gets it from, as Perplexity, as I said before, is a company that was internet based before. So it gives you lots of references, and I can click any of those to get further information. I can ask follow-up questions. I can look at the sources. I can copy the links. I can go through this outline and skip to different sections. So really beautiful format. That's not all it does. It's just one of the things it does that I like. What it mainly does is new threads. So I can, just like the other ones, I can use different models. I'm going to use Auto. They do have R1, which is DeepSeek from China. You may or may not feel comfortable with that. O3 Mini, it's a reasoning model, which is really good. So Perplexity is using other models to do the language. So if I ask something like, tell me about the solar system. Okay, so it's going to go find sources. That's going to combine with the AI. It's going to be reasoning with this model. And then I can enable that, whatever that is. And then it should be giving me looks like it's reasoning through, so it's looking up information. That's what the reasoning is. It's kind of showing you its workflow, gathering information on the structure of the solar system, beginning the analysis. I love this reasoning because I find it very fascinating how it's thinking. So you can see it's not just spitting out information, it's going through a workflow thought process, so to speak. And so it's giving me, okay, so this is great. It's giving me the information on the sun, the planets, moons, all of this information, facts, like a lot. And it's asking if I want follow-up questions. It's giving me reference images and videos to suggest. So I love these because this is the same way it makes articles. I can just choose images and I can add them to this information. So fantastic. And this is the only one that works this way, where it gives you images and videos and other information right off the bat. So I can then do a follow-up question. I can type or just click one of these. How many moons play a role in the solar system? Now it's going to reason through that. So if you're really doing research, this is the king of research at Perplexity, I think, because it does give you always the citations. So you know where it's coming from. It gives you those videos and images to add. So the research, I think, is really better than the other ones. And there we go. And you can also go to spaces and see what other people have done. And now that we're looking at moons, you can see it's given me completely different images to look at for the moons in the solar system. It's kind of amazing. So that's how Perplexity works. Now, just for fun, show me any research. I'm curious if this works better than Claude or differently than Claude. So it's looking through papers by me. It's looking through Google Scholar, so theoretically it should find it because I know they're there. It's reading Google Scholar, reading places I've worked. Okay, it's looking at the impact of my research, beginning the analysis, key themes. So it's going to come up with something. Summarizing themes, collaborations. This is fascinating, I got to tell you. So there's my research, which is correct. It tells me where it came from. In fact, I got my doctorate at CSUF, and it shows you. And these are my publishing partners at CSUF and CSULB, Long Beach, and Fullerton. This is amazing. This is my book, patents. So these are patents as when I was a bioengineer. So you can see where Claude said, I can't help you out at all. And now someone can look me up on Perplexity and find out all kinds of information. I'm curious about the follow-up questions. Wow. That's pretty awesome. See what awards and recognitions I got. And I can tell you when all this AI started, everything was not accurate, and now this is kind of blowing me away. It's looking for awards and recognitions. Yeah, LinkedIn is where I would imagine it would find that. So it can look at LinkedIn, analyzing, and there we go. Wow, that's very accurate. I literally need to put this somewhere. Okay, so that's Perplexity. The one I use the most just for my everyday life is still ChatGPT, but for different purposes, there's different models. And again, this is the free version I'm using. You can see it's pulled up images of me. Actually, this is an image of my old boss at WestEd. I like this one. This image of me at WonderCon talking stuff on YouTube. So my headshot, amazing. So that is what we're going to go over today. I'll be in office hours this week on Wednesday, and I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I know I did, as you hear me laughing throughout on these models, and I hope it expands your horizons on what you can do with this new technology.